My peoples, this is going to be day 3, part 2. This is a contract. This is an additional contract that I had left for the other rogues to take. This is where I wanted to kick off the multiplayer. Going forward, I will be rolling the type of event and day like I usually do. And then we all at the same time will go and submit our actions, including myself. Then I'm going to roll how many rogues are going to be on each given event. There may be multiple events. I'm going to roll, and I'll probably stick to a party of 3 or 4. But to kick this thing off, I'm actually going to accept everyone that had submitted. And then going forward, we will have a set amount of characters. Towards Obsession. For the adventure tone, just to recap, I rolled Intrigue, Adversity. And then for the location, I rolled Creepy, Rustic. And for meaning, I rolled Defiance, Anger, Quarrelsomely, Deliberate. And I interpreted that as this is going to be a continuation of one of our existing plot points, which is the Magnificent Trophy, episode 1. I interpreted this as Toward is continuing her pursuit, and she is leading an expedition out into the Master Plane to look further into the origins of the creature that is stretched upon Genevieve's magnificent trophy. And I thought this would be a good opportunity and fun for the entire group, because we're going to have to choose sides. Now, let's just go ahead and listen to the quest from Genevieve herself.
I concede her stubbornness may prove insurmountable. Shouldst thou fail to sway her, ensure no life is lost, and by the grace of the Master Plane, let not any dread creature be drawn to my beloved tavern. Consider the choices that lie before you, for they shall not only impact the outcome of this harrowing investigation, but also the very fabric of our fellowship. Yours in anticipation, Genevieve.
Yo. First off, I turned the motion setting up on 11 Labs, and it's very off kilter, but I love it. It's fun. It's fun. So I might leave that up. Maybe not for the narration, but for the dialogue, I think I'm going to leave that setting up just so we can get some wild just shifts in tone. It's kind of it adds character, but it also kind of breaks character sometimes. It's a give and take, but I think it's kind of funny. Until I get tired of it, I might leave it that way. But that's from Genevieve. She's pretty much saying, yo, look, can somebody please, again, since the journeyman failed, my character failed, is there any other rogues out there who can talk sense, can get Toward off of my case here? And then Toward's leading an expedition. She's going out. She knows that Toward's hard to convince. So she's saying that if you're unable to, that's fine. Just make sure no one gets hurt and don't bring anything back. So there's going to be, I believe there will likely be a couple groups of people here. People who are going to try to talk to Toward and stop her. And there's going to be people who may go along with Toward and not really focus on the drama, but more so making sure, no, everyone stays alive. So you're not totally button heads. You might, I don't know. We're going to take a look at the submissions now. So, again, normally I would roll how many characters, as well as which characters off the character list. But to kick off multiplayer, I'm going to take a peek and bring everybody into the fold here. For any characters, and we do have a couple players who looks like they submitted actions without actually creating a character. Make sure that you go and create your character first, so I can know your 3 abilities and other details before you can actually participate in the events. So if you are a character who submitted an action, make sure that you first create your character by going to the Peoples and Dragons website, signing up into the members area and creating your character. I know it's, not the best website I know it looked a little confusing, but I touched up on a few spots there to make the website more easy to understand, more intuitive. And, we'll make more adjustments on that as well. But for now...
The tavern doors flew open with a resounding crash, as if a whirlwind had swept through the room. Tort's entrance was as enthralling as it was fearsome, her intimidating aura washing over the assembled patrons like an encroaching mist. "Rogues of the tavern!" Tort bellowed, her cunning gaze slicing through each person like a finely honed blade. "I am hither to rally those with a thirst for adventure and a desire to uncover the enigmatic secrets of the Master Plane." She couldn't help but notice the unusually large gathering of rogues congregating around Genevieve, their protective presence like a barrier before her. Tort's eyes narrowed, feeling the weight of a mysterious, unspoken challenge. Genevieve stood behind the counter, a smug smile gracing her lips and an air of newfound confidence enveloping her like an impenetrable cloak. She seemed utterly unbothered by Towert's typically intimidating presence. Tort's eyes darted between the rogues and Genevieve, attempting to decipher the enigma before her. With a defiant glint in her eyes, she continued her impassioned call to arms. "Join me, brave souls, and let us delve into the shadowy unknown together. Let us unearth the origin of the creature that adorns Genevieve's trophy to satisfy our collective curiosity." Tort declared, her voice laced with defiance and a subtle hint of animosity towards Genevieve. Despite Towert's fervent plea, the atmosphere in the tavern remained as unyielding as a fortress wall, the rogues steadfast in their allegiance to Genevieve. Tort shot one last, piercing glance at the smirking barkeep, determined to unravel the threads of this intricate power play and to regain control of the situation at hand.
So there were two options. There was a roleplay option, which I put there for people who didn't necessarily want to do a job proposition yet. And you just wanted to role play. In the future, this will just be this will be something that'll be there. And if I have room to fit you into the story, I will fit you into the story, into the episode based off of whatever action you're role playing. Our first character here, Liz Drea. Her objective was to role play. She said she's a feisty female rogue, both devious and agile, and known for her sheer good luck. So we need to keep her in mind. This is a rogue that'll be in the building.
As Tort made her grand entrance, a figure perched on a bar stool blended seamlessly into the background. Liz Drea, a female rogue archer, sat with an air of composed deviousness and grace. A striking pattern of vitiligo adorned her skin, a testament to her unique presence. As Tort's impassioned speech filled the tavern, Liz remained undisturbed, her keen eyes observing the odd, horrible-tasting fusion of a beverage Genevieve concocted for her. Amidst the fervor of Tort's entrance, a patron rushed past Liz toward the exit, all while accidentally knocking a pouch of coin from their belt. The pouch tumbled to the floor and spilled its contents, revealing a small fortune. Seizing the opportunity, Liz stealthily slid her foot over the scattered coins, ensuring that the motion went undetected. With the entire tavern's attention fixed on Tort's rallying cry, Liz quietly claims newfound wealth. A sly smile danced upon her lips as she subtly pocketed the coins, her presence skillfully concealed as Tort's words echoed through the raucous tavern.
Then we have Doomsong. Doomsong says they will support by phasing into Shadow Realms to scout ahead, and they will assassinate any unwitting sentinels and or listen in on salient conversations meant only for the choicest ears. So this person is going to be scouting and supporting with their scouting ability while using the shadows.
The flickering candlelight cast an eerie glow throughout Genevieve's tavern, where shadows danced and whispered secrets found a home. Doomsong nestled within these obscurities, their figure cloaked by the darkness as Tort's grand entrance seized the attention of every rogue present. Unnoticed, They lent an ear to the conversations that spilled forth amidst the shadows, where hushed voices dared to speak of Tort's daunting reputation. "Verily I heard tell of her cunning," one rogue muttered, "the way she doth outwit her foes, leaving nary a trace of her deeds." "Aye," another agreed, "her ruthlessness knoweth no bounds, for she hath claimed victory o'er many an adversary, striking fear into the hearts of those who dare cross her path." Doomsong listened intently, absorbing each whispered word like a parched sponge. The intricate web of Tawart's past, woven from the threads of these secret tales, unraveled before them, offering a hidden advantage and valuable insight. As the scene unfolded, and Tort continued to hold court, Doomsong relished the knowledge gained from the shadows. A sly grin etched upon their concealed visage. They knew that with this newfound understanding of Tawart's prowess and infamy, they would do well not to poke the fearsome woman, which was exactly what was getting ready to occur according to what was heard.
Then we have Nock, who also chose job proposition. Nock says they are going to accompany the journeyman, providing scout services and needed combat support. If Tawart is unable to be reasoned with, I want to do my best to wound/maim her enough to end the conflict and send her limping. Damn. So I'm pretty sure Nock is saying that if Tawart gets violent, they will be wounding and maiming her enough to end the conflict, assuming that, there's conflict, because, Tawart pops off. I'm going to sit this one out, because this is a contract that is happening. This is an additional contract. Remember, I took the first contract, so this is the one that was left over. The journeyman actually won't be in here, and I actually just made that decision. I was thinking about it, but I do want this to be something that's happening while I'm gone, to introduce some new NPCs. But going forward, as I said, we will all be doing the same contracts as they become available. So I will not be on here, but it seems that Nock will be there to de-escalate things violently if things get violent.
As Tort commanded the gaze of the gathered rogues, a circle of steadfast souls encircled Genevieve, their allegiance to the tavern owner unspoken but unmistakable. Nock, an archer of cunning and discretion, stood among them. Independent and brimming with sagacity, his inconspicuous bow belied its true potency. Nock's calico locks and beard were woven with a myriad of arrowheads and diverse fletching, a subtle testament to his mastery of the bow. With an imperceptible nod from Genevieve, he turned his discerning eyes upon Tawart, a quiet storm of defiance brewing within him. Bound by loyalty to Genevieve, his gaze was steely and resolute, a silent sentinel prepared to confront the unwelcome interloper. United with his comrades, Nock stood firm, poised to shield his trusted ally from Tawart's disruptive intentions.
Then we have Verdane the Veiled. Verdane the Veiled will attempt to dissuade Tawart, using her dark sympathy to discern her motivations, and her puppetry to tell a story of ancient cataclysms wrought by obsessive pursuit. Should Tawart continue to pursue her goal, Verdane will attempt to obscure her path in darkness. So Verdane is choosing the option of full out dissuading Tawart of doing this, which is what the journeyman was trying to do. Like, yes, we get that there's benefit in knowing where this thing is, but this is Genevieve's quirk, and she only has a few rules, and one of the rules is to not bother her about the trophy. It obviously means a lot to her, enough to put out, but it doesn't mean she has to divulge any information about its origins. And Verdane the Veiled seems that they see this and understand this, so they are going to be using their dark sympathy to discern her motivations and her puppetry to tell a story of ancient cataclysm wrought by obsessive pursuit. Should Tawart continue to pursue her goal, then they will attempt to obscure her path in darkness. So I believe Verdane the Veiled is a witch. Her Verdane the Veiled has an above average rank ability called Dark Sympathy. Sense the darkness in others, useful for persuading and controlling others. Sense the darkness in others, useful for persuading and controlling others. So she kind of like taps into that and uses that to kind of relate and circumvent, exploit their the darkness in others that she knows is just as well. And says that she would use her puppetry, which is the ability to manifest and control beings of shadow, to act as familiars. So Verdane is willing to get violent, it seems. Not necessarily violent, but definitely get in the way, become an obstacle for Towart. She's ready. She wants all of the smoke.
As the tension of Towart's entrance hung heavy in the air, a striking figure gracefully emerged from the assembly of rogues gathered around Genevieve, positioning herself prominently at the front and center of the bar counter. Verdane the Veiled, a rogue witch, exuded an aura of quiet authority that demanded both admiration and trepidation. Her eyes, shrouded by a silver veil, radiated an enigmatic allure. A gentle, inscrutable smile graced her lips, subtly revealing her intentions. Prepared to stand alongside Genevieve and defend her privacy against Towart's unwelcome intrusion, Verdane's unspoken determination, though understated, resonated with the rogues surrounding her. Even Towart could not entirely ignore the formidable presence of the Veiled Witch.
And then we have Maven. Maven says, I will follow the course of action that my intuition nudges me towards. I will attempt to resolve the situation peacefully. I will investigate if there are any sites of the occult in the ruin and where in the destination for themselves. And they will use archery if deeming so fitting and necessary. So I believe Maven is a archer. Yeah, Maven is an archer.
In the throng of rogues gathered at the bar, a singular figure seemed caught in the eye of the storm, a male rogue archer named Maven. His shorter stature and single arm belied the lethal finesse with which he wielded his enigmatic bow. A quiet, cynical air clung to him, a testament to his impulsive nature. As the tension between Towart and Genevieve's defenders thickened, Maven stood at the crossroads of choice. The tempting call of adventure and the loyalty to the barkeep's wishes danced in his thoughts. Heeding the whisper of his intuition, he chose to let the winds of fate unfurl, waiting to see where they might lead him.
Before anyone goes on this expedition with Towart, the people who are going to try to dissuade Towart, obviously, are going to try to do that first. Verdane appears to be the one that is going to lead dissuading Towart. Nock is seems to be supporting if Towart can't be reasoned with, and Maven is going to use their intuition. Their intuition is going to nudge them in the right direction, and they will jump in, but depending on how their intuition feels about the situation. So they're probably going to be waiting a little bit long, see how things go before they actually lend their help. Their help, Maven's help, might be what moves the needle. But they're going to also try to resolve the situation peacefully. So sort of like Nock, except they're going to try to do it peacefully, whereas Nock is willing to leave Towart leaving the situation limping.
Towart, sensing the uncertainty amongst the rogues, took the opportunity to assert her dominance. She scanned the room with a predatory gaze, her voice dripping with a mix of honey and venom as she spoke. Behold all these fresh visages heeding the barkeep's desperate plea for succor, she sneered, her words laced with mockery. Genevieve, thou hast managed to rally a motley crew of protectors, but have they truly weighed the cost of their allegiance? Her eyes swept the room, locking onto each individual, assessing their strengths and weaknesses. Pray tell me, noble rogues, She continued, her voice growing darker. "Is it verily worth risking life and limb to safeguard a mere secret? Or dost thou yearn for something more? Adventure? Glory? Knowledge?" Tort's words were skillfully crafted, a web of manipulation designed to ensnare the undecided and cause doubt in the hearts of the committed. A wicked grin spread across her face as she bore witness to the impact of her words, the seeds of uncertainty taking root in the minds of those around her. Lys Drea, the composed and devious rogue, leaned back in her seat, her eyes narrowing as she watched Tort's performance. Her mind raced, analyzing the situation and calculating her next move, but she remained outwardly calm, concealing her intentions behind a cool facade. Doomsong, the shadowy eavesdropper, blended effortlessly into the darkness, his gaze fixed intently upon Tort. The words stirred something within him, but his face remained an unreadable mask, betraying no hint of his thoughts. Nock, the careful and independent archer, stood with arms crossed, his expression unreadable as he assessed Tort's monologue. He weighed her words carefully, as though searching for some hidden meaning or ulterior motive before his gaze flicked back to Genevieve, reaffirming his loyalty. Verdane the Veiled, the perceptive and exacting witch, studied Tort with a piercing, shadowed gaze from behind her silver veil. Her eyes, filled with the wisdom of countless experiences, seemed to see through Tort's manipulation, yet her serene expression remained unchanged, a silent display of unwavering support for Genevieve. Maven, the impulsive, quiet, and cynical archer, frowned as he listened to Tort's taunts. He clenched his one hand into a fist, his intuition telling him something wasn't quite right. However, his cautious nature held him back, opting to observe the unfolding events for now, waiting for the opportune moment to act.
And Verdane says that she will attempt to dissuade Tort using her dark sympathy to discern her motivations and her puppetry, to tell a story of ancient cataclysm wrought by obsessive pursuit. So she's going to try to scare Tort into dissuade Tort by showing her what happens to those who are obsessed with what they're pursuing. And I don't know if she's going to fabricate a lie or it's based on true events. It doesn't matter. Should Tort continue to pursue her goal, Verdane will attempt to obscure her path in darkness. So this could lead to conflict. This could lead to conflict. Okay. So Verdane is going to be using above average dark sympathy. Tort was quite the talker herself. Manipulation is what Tort. She had a high ability, a high skill, high manipulation. So we'll say it's going to be above average. Verdane's above average versus Tort's high. The question is, would Maven's intuition lean toward assisting Verdane or assisting Tort? And I think we can find the answer to that, because in Maven's plan, Maven said that she would attempt to resolve the situation peacefully. I think that because maybe she doesn't know Verdane, so she doesn't know Verdane is going to get violent, but Verdane is probably a shadowy, creepy looking witch, right? Verdane looks kind of creepy. She knows that between them two, something could pop off. So I think that Maven would lean toward jumping in and trying to help Verdane so that this doesn't become a fight. I'm going to roll the dice to see which way, if Maven's intuition would lend to Verdane's side. I'm going to say the chances of Maven siding Verdane for the purpose of avoiding conflict is, I'm going to say, somewhat likely. 37. So somewhat likely is likely. I meant to say likely. 37. So that's a yes. Maven is going to support Verdane.
In a sudden, impulsive motion, Maven lifted his mysterious bow from where it rested beside him and slung it across his back. Without a word, he strode through the gathered crowd, his short stature and quiet demeanor barely drawing attention. As he reached Verdane's side, he offered her a single subtle nod, his choice now clear to those observant enough to notice. The decision to stand with Verdane and defend Genevieve's privacy was made, and Maven's unwavering gaze, filled with a newfound determination, fixed itself on Tort. Though his alliance was silently announced, the message it conveyed spoke volumes about his intuition and resolve.
Will does Maven support warrant a bonus to Verdane? Well, let's take a look to see what Maven's capable of. High rank intuition, mysterious rank, mysterious weapon, exceptional rank, mysterious weapon, high rank intuition, above average rank, occult knowledge. I could make an argument that Maven's high intuition would complement the warning, the story that Verdane is using to dissuade Towart. And because it's high, it's within 2 ranks of, it's actually higher. It would provide a bonus. So we're going to say it's high. Now that I'm giving it a +1 bonus, it's going from above average with a bonus from Maven to high. So it's going to be high versus Towart's high manipulation ability. In this first scene, is Verdane able to dissuade Towart? Remember, if it doesn't work, Towart's going to get violent, or Towart's going to may get violent, may not, but Verdane is going to get violent, and then Nock is going to get violent. Let's find out. Can the witch, Verdane, and Maven convince Towart, of all people, to leave this be? High versus high. Let's find out. It has to be anything under a 50. Here we go.
As Tort continued her grandiose and menacing monologue, Verdane the Veiled stepped forward, her silver veil shimmering as she raised her hands. Her voice, soft yet commanding, cut through the tension in the room. "Hearken unto me, Tort, and heed the tale of one whose heart was as dark as thine own." With a graceful wave of her hand, shadows danced upon the walls, swirling and coalescing into a captivating puppetry display. The intricate and mesmerizing performance told the story of an unnamed rogue who became consumed by a relentless pursuit of forbidden knowledge. This obsession led the rogue to a hidden and cursed place, where they unwittingly unleashed a great calamity that ravaged the master plane and brought ruin to countless lives. Towart's eyes narrowed, her initial hostility momentarily forgotten as she became entranced by the tale. Her defiance, however, was not easily quelled. "And what dost thou imply, witch? That mine own fate shall mirror that of this rogue? That I, too, shall bring doom upon us all?" She snarled, her voice dripping with contempt. It was then that Maven spoke, his quiet demeanor giving way to a calm certainty. "Consider the perils of obsession, Tort. It hath consumed many a great soul, leading them to the brink of destruction. Verdane's tale holds wisdom for those who seek the hidden truths." Tort's anger flared, and she seemed on the verge of lashing out when her gaze met Nock's. The archer stood with unwavering resolve, his small bow at the ready and a steely glint in his eyes. It was clear that any attempt at violence would be met with staunch resistance. The weight of the story settled upon her. She pondered the cautionary tale, her cunning mind grasping the implications of her actions. "Could it be," she whispered, "that mine own desire for knowledge might bring ruin upon us all? Could the destruction of the weak truly be that easy?" she says with a smile. Realizing the truth in Verdain's words, Tort let out a frustrated sigh, her pride wounded but her mind enlightened. "Very well," she conceded, her voice subdued. "I shall not pursue this matter further, for now."
Oh, they did it. They did it. What does Toward say? What does Toward say in response to this? 33.5. Enthusiastic. Amusing. I'm going to interpret that as she kind of laughs it off. She sees how enthusiastic. She gets really enthusiastic by the energy coming from the tone of Verdain. You know, as Verdain talks to her about the woes and of what's to come if she goes down this dangerous path of obsessing over this thing, it kind of gets into her head, into Toward's head, and she kind of like feeds into it, but more so laughs it off, and kind of paints the picture like that she's not scared, and she tries to convey that she's more enthusiastic about it, but not enough to carry on with trying to get people to go with her. So in a way, she is convinced and is having second thoughts, but she doesn't try to portray that. Instead, she finds it amusing. She tries to make a quip about it and laugh it off.
Toward, a devilish glint in her eyes, looked around the tavern one last time. "Well, my fellow rogues, ye have given me much to ponder upon this eve," she said, her tone sarcastic yet undaunted. "Forsooth, the world is vast and brimming with secrets yet to be unveiled, and I shall continue to seek them out, be it near or far." Turning to Genevieve, she smirked. "As for thee, Genevieve, perhaps if thy tavern served better brew, thou might find thyself with more courageous patrons." Addressing the rogues, she continued, "And to all of ye who oppose me, remember, fortune favors the bold, not those who cower in the candlelight, letting a washed-up adventurer turned barkeep dictate their actions." Her words lingered in the air as she departed the tavern, leaving the rogues to reflect on the enigmatic figure that was Tort, an ever-present reminder of the wide spectrums of perspectives existing among all rogues in the Master Plane.
I think by Verdain successfully standing up to Toward, along with Maven, I think this really sets a precedent. It shows everyone that Toward can be handled. And I think everyone also looks at Verdain and Maven, especially Verdain, and with a little bit more respect. First off, what does Genevieve say exactly? Polite. Oppose. Genevieve thanks the rogues not only for dissuading Toward and getting her off the trail, but also doing it opposing her in a way that didn't call for violence in this bar, because she doesn't want that in this bar.
Genevieve, a relieved smile gracing her face, turned to Verdain, Nock, and Maven. "My deepest gratitude to all three of ye," she said, her voice warm and appreciative. "Ye hath aided me in preserving the sanctity of this humble tavern and fending off Tort's intrusions without resorting to violence beneath its roof." With a nod, she continued, "I am truly indebted to each of ye for standing by my side in this trying moment. It heartens me to know that there are still rogues who understand the value of privacy and respect." Her eyes glistened with gratitude as she concluded, "May fortune favor ye in all your endeavors, and know that ye shall always find a warm hearth and a welcoming friend here at my tavern."
$27, $21. 27, 21. This is a reward that can be shared amongst all of them. Let's see what it means. Horrible. Failed. Genevieve promises to each of you, Maven, Verdane, and Nock, that you will no longer be served the horrible beverages that she has. And whenever she has some really great beverages, you're going to get that. You're going to get the top shelf. You get top shelf access. You get top shelf access. Never the horrible drinks if she has it in stock. And luckily for you, she has it in stock tonight. The entire next scene will be these three enjoying this perk of these top shelf brews. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to roll some conversation between each of these three characters and see if we can get some relationship deepening out of this over some top shelf brews as a result.
The warm glow of candlelight bathed the tavern as Verdane, Nock, and Maven gathered around a table, their glasses filled with Genevieve's finest brews. The events that had just unfolded with Towart were still fresh in their minds, yet a feeling of camaraderie seemed to grow stronger between them. Nock raised his glass, a smirk on his lips, a toast to Genevieve's newfound peace and the mysterious secrets that remain hidden. The others raised their glasses, their eyes twinkling in amusement. Verdane, her voice gentle but firm, added, "And to the bonds formed in the face of adversity. May our paths continue to intertwine in the master plane, bound by trust and understanding." Maven, his intuition guiding him, chimed in, "Aye, and to the unforeseen adventures that await us. No doubt we'll have more tales to share as we continue our journeys through these treacherous lands." As they clinked glasses, laughter and spirited conversation filled the air, the bond between these three rogues solidifying with each shared story and revelation. Genevieve, watching from behind the bar, couldn't help but feel warmth in her heart, grateful for the benevolent faces that had brought a sense of comfort and camaraderie to her once lonely tavern. From the shadows, Doomsong listened intently, a knowing smile upon his face, while Lysdrea remained at a distance, her luck silently playing its part in the evening's events. The night wore on, leaving behind memories of an encounter that would echo throughout the master plane, a testament to the strength and unity found within the hearts of those who choose to stand together.
As a result of this feat of fending off Towart, again, I like each of these episodes to make a big difference and have an impact. It's supposed to have a very dramatic result in these bite-sized episodes. And so, with that said, it's safe to say that Towart will no longer obsess over and pursue the origin of the Magnificent Trophy, because secretly, deep down inside, she's been rattled by the visions that Verdane shared. And I'm sure Genevieve is happy about that, and peace is looking more possible in the tavern and among the rogues, so that you may survive in the master plane a little bit longer.
Thank you so much for joining us on this exciting adventure. If you've enjoyed the show, please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more thrilling episodes. And if you're feeling inspired and wish to join the show with a rogue of your own, head to the website linked in the description to submit your character. We can't wait to see what amazing creations you come up with. Until next time, fellow adventurers, take care, and may your journeys through the Master Plane be filled with wonder and excitement.